Merle Oberon's mum was actually her sister who birthed her at 12+ bleaching horrors. Diving into Merle Oberon's life is like peeling an onion. It's layer after surprising layer, even though she's caught some flack for distancing herself from her roots and changing her appearance dramatically. There's this skin bleaching story that's hard to hear. I can't help but feel for her. She faced a lot and made tough choices influenced by her times. Imagine finding out the person you thought was your sister is actually your mom. That's Merle for you. A true icon in beauty and fashion. A real trailblazer. We'll dive into her beauty secrets, including that tough-to-swallow skin bleaching part, but once you get her whole story, you'll see why she went to such lengths. We're also going to cover her diet and workout routines, then circle back to her roller coaster childhood and her even wilder career journey. Beginning with her makeup saga seems like a good idea. In 1940, Oberon's skin was badly damaged, a mix of cosmetic poisoning and a bad reaction to some meds. Some folks think she was trying to bleach her skin, which ended up burning and scarring her badly. Based on a tip from Alexander Korda, she underwent several skin treatments in New York, trying to smooth out those scars. Sadly, makeup could hardly cover them. But Oberon was inventive. She mastered makeup tricks to hide her scars, plus she was a pioneer, using this special camera light that softened her face on screen, kind of blurring out scars and blemishes. This was way before Instagram filters became a thing. Today, when you see celebs and beauty influencers like the Kardashians rocking that flawless look on camera, remember Merle Oberon. She was way ahead, using what was pretty much the first ever filter to hide her scars. Her resilience and ingenuity left a mark on beauty and film, teaching us all a bit about overcoming and innovating. Merle Oberon's makeup routine became her secret weapon. She'd start with powder, then foundation, and top it off with another layer of powder. This wasn't just any makeup technique, it was a clever trick to smooth out her skin's texture and hide any discoloration from her attempts at skin bleaching. She opted for a simpler look too, steering clear of bold eyeshadows to avoid drawing too much attention to her face. Instead, she'd rock a red lip, making sure everything else blended nicely, right down to her neck for that seamless look. Now, about her diet and exercise, Merle Oberon was all about keeping it healthy and simple. She had a chat with Lydia Lane where she shared her love for grilled meats, salads and veggies. Sweets and heavy dishes were off her menu, which wasn't a big deal for her. Walking and swimming were her go-to activities, with her pool heated all year round to indulge her swimming passion whenever she wished. "I like to walk and I'm mad about swimming," Merle said. Grilled fish topped her favourite foods list, but she couldn't resist chocolate, and orange was her favourite colour. If you're feeling the love for Merle, drop an orange heart in the comments for her. Merle Oberon was born on February 19th, 1911 in Bombay, now known as Mumbai in India. Throughout her life, she kept her real background under wraps, claiming she was from Tasmania, Australia, where her birth records were supposedly destroyed in a fire. The truth, she grew up as the daughter of Arthur Terence O'Brien Thompson, a Welsh engineer in India, and Charlotte Selby, his Eurasian wife from Sri Lanka. So, her mother being from Sri Lanka meant Merle had darker skin, a fact she felt she had to hide. Shockingly, the truth revealed by Merle's birth certificate was far from what she had led the world to believe. The woman Merle had grown up believing was her sister, Constance Selby, was in fact her biological mother, a mere child of 12 years at the time of Merle's birth. The woman she called Mother was actually her grandmother, a twist of fate not uncommon in Haiti. Yet, the reality behind such situations is often heart-wrenching. Merle, in a desperate bid to erase her past, ensured no trace of her childhood or early life remained. No photographs, no mementos, nothing that could link her back to her humble beginnings. She was resolute in her decision to keep her past life, her childhood, and her parents hidden from the world. When she rose to fame, she introduced her own mother, a woman of darker skin, as her maid. This allowed Merle, who could pass for a white woman, to maintain her carefully crafted public persona, a chilling testament to the lengths one could go to protect a secret. Constance, Merle's biological mother, fell pregnant at a young age due to an unwanted advance from her stepfather. To avoid scandal, Charlotte, Merle's grandmother, stepped in to raise Merle as her own, making it appear as though Merle and Constance were sisters. This wasn't the first time Charlotte had to do this. She herself had given birth to Constance at the tender age of 14, also due to an unwanted advance from Henry Alfred Selby, an Anglo-Irish foreman of a tea plantation. By the time Constance gave birth to Merle, Charlotte was only 26, a remarkably young age to be a grandmother, making it easy for people to believe that Merle was her daughter. Constance later married Alexander Soares, and they had 4 children: Edna, Douglas, Harry, and Stan. These 4 children were Merle's half-siblings, but Merle distanced herself from them. Harry, one of Merle's half-brothers, stumbled upon Merle's birth certificate in Indian government records in Bombay. He was stunned to discover that he was actually Merle's half-brother, not her nephew. He attempted to visit her in Los Angeles, but she refused to see him. Harry initially withheld this information from Oberon's biographer, Charles Hyam, and only revealed it to Marie Delovsky, who produced a documentary in 2002 titled The Trouble with Merle, which delved into the various conflicting stories about Merle's origins. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Despite learning the truth, Oberon held a deep affection for her grandmother, who she considered to be her real mother. In 1949, Oberon commissioned paintings of her grandmother, Charlotte, based on old photographs. However, she had Charlotte depicted with lighter skin, as her grandmother was dark-skinned, which was not popular during those days. These altered images adorned the walls of all her homes until Oberon's own death in 1979. In 1914, when Merle was a mere 3 years old, her father, Arthur Thompson, enlisted in the British Army. His life was tragically cut short by pneumonia while he was serving on the Western Front during the infamous Battle of the Somme. Following his untimely death, Merle and Charlotte, who she believed to be her mother but was in fact her grandmother, endured years of poverty in dilapidated apartments in Bombay. In 1917, they managed to improve their living conditions by moving to Calcutta. Merle was fortunate to receive a charity scholarship to La Martiniere for girls, one of Kolkata's premier private schools. However, her mixed ethnicity made her a target for relentless bullying, forcing her to abandon school and continue her education at home. Despite these hardships, Merle developed a deep passion for film and reveled in the nightlife, even working as a telephone operator under the pseudonym Queenie Thompson. As Merle matured, her natural beauty blossomed. Her thick dark hair, high cheekbones and petite frame were the epitome of a Hollywood starlet. Her look set the beauty standard in India at the time. Unlike many other Anglo-Indians, her skin was noticeably lighter, a trait highly favoured in India. Merle's nightlife escapades often involved her adopting a faux British accent. It was during this period that she started using skin bleaching treatments to further lighten her skin. This led many to believe that her later claims of a car accident causing her skin damage were fabricated. The real culprit was the skin bleaching, not a car accident. Her skin condition deteriorated so severely that she felt compelled to concoct the car accident story. The skin bleaching products she used were marketed by British companies and were readily available in India. These products promoted the notion that lighter skin equated to greater beauty. Merle, in particular, was quick to adopt this belief, associating dark skin with a life of poverty. The effectiveness of these products, which are still widely used today, depends on the body's melanin production. They contain ammoniated mercury as the active ingredient, which can lead to mercury poisoning. Symptoms can range from skin rashes to cognitive impairments. In 1929, while at Verkels, Merle crossed paths with Ben Finney, a former actor. They started dating, but their relationship took a shocking turn when Finney discovered Merle's mixed heritage after meeting her darker-skinned mother, who was actually her grandmother from Sri Lanka. Unwilling to be associated with a dark-skinned woman, Finney ended their relationship. However, he offered to introduce Merle to Rex Ingram, a film director at Victorian Studios in France, if she was willing to travel there. Merle and her mother packed up and moved to France, only to find Finney avoiding them upon arrival. Despite this, Finney had spoken highly of Merle to Ingram at the studio in Nice. Intrigued by Merle's unique look, Ingram quickly hired her for a small role as an extra in a film called The Three Passions, marking the beginning of her Hollywood journey. Before her big break, Merle did what was necessary to survive. In 1929, she and her grandmother left India and travelled to the UK via France. Merle became a nightclub hostess in London, where rumours circulated that she charged a few $100s equivalent to around $3,000 today, for her company each night. While working in films behind the scenes, she also led a life as a high-end call girl. In a 1939 Film Weekly interview, Merle confessed that she lacked skills in dancing, writing, or painting. However, she believed that her face, while not extraordinary, had a photogenic quality that could be her gateway to success. Her life took a dramatic turn when film director Alexander Korda spotted her potential and cast her in a small but impactful role as Anne Boleyn in 1933. At that time, Merle was still using her birth name, Estelle. Alexander persuaded her to change her name to Merle Oberon, a name he thought would erase any hints of her origins and present her with a new, distinguished image. The film was a massive success, paving the way for more significant roles for Merle, including The Battle alongside Charles Boyer and The Broken Melody. Merle's collaboration with Korda continued with 2 more films, The Private Life of Don Juan and The Scarlet Pimpernel. Korda then cast her in The Dark Angel, which led to an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress for Merle. This was followed by roles in these 3 and The Beloved Enemy. She went on to grace the silver screen in numerous other films across Europe and America. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. Merle Oberon, a shining star in old Hollywood, kept a secret that might raise your eyebrows today. She was born in India, but back in those days, Hollywood wasn't so open-minded, so she kept it under wraps. But here's the kicker. Her unique background actually put her in the spotlight, making her the first actress of Asian descent to catch the eye of the Academy Awards. Imagine that. But even when the news broke out in 1935, suggesting she was Eurasian, Merle didn't blink. She shrugged it off, saying her looks and her time in India were just a bunch of coincidences. She was determined to keep her past just that. Past. Now, it's time to discuss her love life, which was as colourful as her career. In 1939, she tied the knot with Alexander Korda, a big name in the director's chair, but that love story ended in 1945. Not skipping a beat, she then married Lucien Ballard, the genius who invented a special light to make her look flawless on screen. But guess what? That chapter closed in 1949. Merle wasn't done yet. She moved on to Bruno Pagliai, an Italian big shot, and together they adopted 2 kids and set up home in Mexico. But the plot thickens. She met Robert Wolders, a Dutch actor 25 years her junior, and it was wedding bells again in 1975, until she passed away in 1979. We can explore the whirlwind life of Merle Oberon and the lengths she went to deny her roots. Imagine living in a time when hiding who you truly are was the norm, especially in the spotlight. Merle faced criticism left and right, not just for her choice of roles, but for her very identity. Critics were quick to judge without walking a mile in her shoes, not understanding the immense pressure and fear she lived with every day. Merle was under such stress about her background that she often experienced severe anxiety, manifesting as heart palpitations and flutters. Sadly, this constant state of tension likely contributed to her untimely death from a stroke. She had everyone believing she was born in Tasmania, Australia, so much so that she was nearly celebrated there, until the truth surfaced. Facing the music, she had to admit her tales of Australian origins were fabrications, a confession that only made her situation more dire. The scrutiny didn't stop there. People speculated about her Asian appearance and occasionally detected an accent they couldn't place, sparking more rumors and invasive questioning. The constant evasion and lies about her birth certificate being lost took a toll on her well-being. However, we shouldn't overlook the sacrifices made for her career. Her grandmother, the unsung hero behind her success, had to pretend to be her maid. The lengths Merle went to maintain her Hollywood image were extreme, from skin bleaching to cosmetic surgeries intended to correct her features, and even taking sulfur capsules in an attempt to lighten her skin, a practice that did more harm than good. This saga of Merle Oberon isn't just a tale of vintage Hollywood glamour, but a poignant reminder of the painful lengths some went to fit into a mold that was never meant for them. It's a stark example of how societal pressures and expectations can shape and sometimes shatter lives. We need to confront the truth about the extreme measures some of the most prominent figures in showbiz took, all in an effort to conform to a specific standard. Take Rita Hayworth or even Marilyn Monroe, who, despite being white, went to extremes with skin bleaching. And get this, whispers went around that Marilyn might have had Mexican roots, all because of rumors her mom was born in Mexico. Marilyn transformed so much, even sporting a white fuzz on her face and arms from all the bleaching. Imagine, the icon Marilyn Monroe, tangled in tales of hiding her true heritage under layers of bleach and hair dye. It's a sad testament to the times how these talented women felt compelled to deny their very identity, all because society couldn't embrace diversity. And the stories of love gone sour the moment a man discovered their heritage. Heartbreaking, it's mind-boggling how narrow-minded the world was, and in some ways it still is. People today still chase that Eurocentric ideal, altering their looks to fit in, when in reality, our diversity is our true beauty. Despite her immense talent, the scandal of her heritage now overshadows her achievements on the silver screen. Yes, she was Indian, and yes, she made it in European cinema. Imagine if she had witnessed the industry evolve into a place more welcoming of her true self. Nowadays, the unique, the mixed, the diverse, that's what catches the eye. She would have been celebrated, not just accepted for who she was. Reflecting on Merle Oberon's story and the trials of others in her era, we're reminded of the courage it took to face an industry that often demanded they hide their true identities. Their stories aren't just history. They're lessons in resilience and the importance of embracing who we are amidst pressures to conform. This dialogue doesn't end here. If Merle's story about being true to yourself and valuing diversity resonated with you, just drop a yes in the comments. We love hearing your thoughts and stories. For more deep dives into the lives of iconic figures and the lessons they offer, remember to like and subscribe to Iconic Inside. Your support fuels our exploration into these important stories, helping us all learn from the past as we aim for a more inclusive future. Thanks for being part of this important discussion. Stay tuned for more insights and stories that celebrate the strength in our diversity.